Today we'll bring you the evidence of Lucy Letby as the defence case got underway and she gave her version of events to the jury.
We'll bring you her insistence that she didn't harm or attempt to harm baby Kay, and when she answered the police's questions, she was just trying to be helpful.
She didn't accept that Dr. Ravi Jairam ever walked into Nursery 1 to find her standing by baby Kay's cot, doing nothing to help as she collapsed.
And she also denied looking for grief when she searched online for the parents of children who had died.
So just after 10:30 a.m. yesterday, the barristers, the police officers, the media and the public all filed into Court 7 at Manchester Crown Court. And at 10:51, to a packed, hushed courtroom, Lucy Letby stood, took the Bible in her hand and swore to tell the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. She wore her long hair down and she was wearing a smart black trouser suit.
Then her barrister, Ben Myers KC, began his questioning. And just to remind you, the allegation is that between about 3:45 a.m. and 3:50 a.m. on the night shift of February the 17th, 2016, Lucy Letby was caught virtually red-handed by Dr. Ravi Jairam at baby Kay's cotside, and she was doing nothing as she collapsed, he said. It's the prosecution case that she deliberately dislodged the tiny, premature baby's breathing tube to try to murder her.
She denies the charge, and last week, when the prosecution closed its case, Mr. Myers indicated to the jury that his client would be giving evidence in her own defence, and that's what she did. We were there to watch her, and today we'll bring you what she told the jury. We've voiced up their exchanges. This one begins with Ben Myers.
Did you attempt to kill baby Kay?
No.
Did you intend to do her any harm at all?
No.
Do you accept that you ever tried to harm any baby in your care?
No, I don't.
Do you recall particular events that took place in Nursery 1 in February 2016?
No, I don't.
We know that the allegation is based on the evidence of Dr. Jairam. He says that he came in and baby Kay was desaturating to low 80s. You were standing there doing nothing and no alarms were sounding. Do you recall any incident with Dr. Jairam coming in when something like that was happening?
No.
Do you have any recollection of Dr. Jairam coming into the nursery when you were there by yourself?
No, I don't.
Do you recall saying that baby Kay had just started to desaturate?
No.
Do you remember being there at all at that time, in those circumstances?
No.
Was there any incident that morning where you were trying to hurt baby Kay?
No.
Or why you were not giving her the help that she needed?
No.
When you say you don't recall any incident with baby Kay, like Dr. Jairam described, by doing that, are you accepting that it happened?
No.
Mr. Myers reminded Lucy Letby that it was the prosecution case that she had tampered with baby Kay's breathing tube twice more on the shift to give colleagues the impression that she was habitually displacing her own breathing tube.
Did you at any point try to hurt baby Kay that night?
No.
Did you try to interfere with her tube to make it look like she was unwell and desaturating for no apparent reasons?
Absolutely not.
To try to cover your tracks?
No.
Mr. Myers took Lucy Letby through what she'd told police in each of her 3 police interviews in July 2018, June 2019 and November 2020. We covered these in our episode on Friday last week.
Yeah, she agreed she was reliant upon the notes, including those made by other nurses, which were a record of medicine given to the babies on the unit, their observations, who was looking after them, and any notes on their condition. She said she didn't remember anything independently of this paperwork that she was given for the purpose of the interviews.
And in those interviews, you'll remember, she said she had no recollection of the incident at 3:50, and she said if she'd been in Nursery 1, when baby Kay was collapsing, she would have summoned help. She also told police it was a shame that if Dr. Jairam had felt uncomfortable about her being in Nursery 1 on her own with baby Kay, that he didn't raise the issue with her sooner.
Mr. Myers then asked her about a question a detective asked her, which was explain what you were doing when Dr. Jairam walked into the nursery.
The question is put to you like a fact. Had you actually agreed you were there in the first place?
No.
Mr. Myers then quoted the officer again.
Tell me what would have happened if Dr. Jairam had not walked in when you were stood by the incubator.
And he asked Lucy Letby,
Have you ever agreed there was ever a time when he walked in to see you stood by the incubator?
No.
Do you remember anything like that happening?
No.
She told the jury she only agreed with the police during questioning that baby Kay was sedated or paralysed at the time of her collapse because that was what she was told by the officers. And because she took what Dr. Jairam had said to them as the truth. She said police were asking her questions at the time that she believed to be factually accurate. And she told the jury that she'd not seen any evidence on prescription charts since to confirm that baby K was paralysed, and she now disagreed that this was the case.
She took the jury through the type of medication babies are given and the difference between medication to sedate and medication to paralyse. She said the medication baby K had been given was to sedate but not to paralyse her. She also said she only told officers she didn't dislodge baby K's tube because that was what was being asked of her at the time. And when she told police she might have been waiting for baby K to self-correct when she collapsed, she did so because she was trying to be helpful, to try to answer the questions they were asking her. But she insisted she does not accept now that she was in the nursery not helping baby K at all.
Mr. Myers pointed out that she was feeding another baby at around 3:30 in the morning, shortly before the alleged attack on baby K 15 minutes later. And she insisted a feed like this, which was done via a baby's nasal feeding tube, could take up to 20 minutes to complete, and also that the charts showed she changed the baby's nappy at the time as well. Now, she was also shown text messages that she exchanged with other nurses after the shift when they were discussing baby K. She said it wasn't unusual for staff to discuss what had happened on the shift, and she pointed out that it was actually another nurse who brought baby K into the text exchange by asking her about the 24-weeker.
In her evidence, she also said it was commonplace for staff to be in and out of different nurseries across the shift. That might be to get supplies, medication, or to help out one another.